Hey everybody, Ritchie Yip here, talking about Simon Sinek's Leaders Eat Last. When did I read this? Maybe last year I picked this up. I liked his previous book, starting with Why. So Sinek, it's a great book that really talks about how to run a team of people and why caring about them and taking care of your team, your tribe, the people under you is not only good for the team but ultimately good for profitability as well. It greatly. It did. I don't want to say that it greatly influenced me on how I run my company because I was already doing a lot of the things that the book talks about. But it just reinforced to me that I was doing the right thing because there's a lot of other books, there's a lot of other business leaders, and there's a lot of other people that I know that run their businesses differently. And I've just chosen to run my business in a certain way, and this book really resonated with me in the sense that it reinforced my leadership style. So, Sinek talks about having a circle of safety in the sense that people will perform to their optimum level when they feel safe. If they are threatened by you, if they are waking up to the threat that they could be losing their job any day, they'll just have one foot out the door, right? And they won't be invigorated. They won't be creative, right? So by ensuring that that they're in a safe environment, that their jobs are safe, that you are doing everything possible so that way they're able to go and pay their bills, and that they're if they screw up, it's okay, right? That they can learn from that incident and move forward, right? And actually be a better community, a better business because we've all learned from their mistakes. And if you would reinforce that, then everybody feels that they can go explore, make mistakes, fail forward, and that they're not going to be admonished by it or for it by me. Sinek talks about a lot about empathy, which is critical to understand what your team is going through. Certainly with me being a teacher, right? First and foremost, like I define myself as a teacher, and how being empathic to my students and what they're going through allows me to be the best teacher that I possibly can be. Understanding their frustration, understanding their fear, their anxieties about learning something new really reinforces my patience. And that's ultimately how I run my team, my team of instructors. Right? It is how I run my company. I understand that teaching can be frustrating, right? And that if one of my instructors is frustrated, I get it, right? I don't get mad at them, right? I understand it, and we just discuss it in a professional manner. If they get frustrated, I allow them to vent to me. Autonomy. Sinek talks a lot about autonomy in his book. He says that it's critical to allow people to make their own decisions and to question you and to just be critical thinkers. And I let all of my instructors run their classes the way that they want to. Now, I also give them a ton of feedback. Right? I give them a lot of feedback. We problem solve, but I give them free rein. I am not a micromanager, right? And every single one of the instructors in our two schools, we're all a little different. Everybody's a little bit different. We are similar in the sense that we share common values and a certain sense of morality in the sense of how martial arts are taught, why it's important to have a very strong sense of community in all of our classes. But we're all very different people, and we all have slightly different coaching styles, and how we arrange our classes are very different. And I encourage autonomy amongst my instructors, and I think this is the reason why the team, our team of instructors, it's just so strong, and why we're so committed to providing just an outstanding class, an outstanding service to our clientele, right? So the next thing that makes up the bulk of Sinek's book is he talks about all these different drugs that force us to make the decisions, or force us to do the things that we do, which I thought was actually very fascinating. I'm always fascinated by why we do the things that we do, and sometimes it's not rational, right? In fact, most of the time it's not rational. Sinek talks about serotonin. Serotonin is that sense of pride that we have when we accomplish something, like when we win an award, right? Or when somebody else wins an award. When your favorite team wins the Super Bowl or the Stanley Cup, and you feel that engagement, that's serotonin. We actually use it in the school, in the sense that we award belts. In our jiu-jitsu program, we award belts, we award promotions. Not only does it feel great, I get serotonin by awarding the promotion. The student receiving the reward, the person receiving the promotion, the belt promotion, they receive serotonin, right? It's a blissful, fuzzy feeling. As well, all the people in attendance, their training partners, their fellow students also feel serotonin, right? So Sinek talks about serotonin in the book. He talks about oxytocin as well. That's also a warm and fuzzy drug. It's the love drug. When you are in a new relationship with someone and it's euphoric, right? That's oxytocin. Oxytocin also creates or engenders trust. It's a survival instinct. We want to trust other people. We want to trust our tribe. So let's just say that we're living we're living as cavemen, right? We're living as cavemen, and we're living in a small tribe. Well, if I'm going to sleep, if I'm going to fall asleep, I want to have trust. I want to have oxytocin with you, so that way when I sleep, you'll protect me, right? If a bunch of saber-toothed tigers decide to attack us, right? Oxytocin exists in my martial arts school, all right? Because if I have a training partner and I'm going to give you my arm, okay? I'm going to give you my arm, and I'm going to let you practice your arm bar on this arm. This is my favorite right arm, right? I use this right arm every single day, but I'm going to let you practice breaking it. I'm actually going to let you do that. Now, there's safety valves, right? We can tap out. Right, I teach that to my students. I'm going to trust you in practicing breaking my arm as many times as you like. And in return, all I ask is that you keep my arm safe, and that you give me your arm to practice on, right? We engender that. We try to create that in our student base. As well, I try to create that amongst my team of instructors. I want to have a circle of trust, that I'm not just going to keep all the money for myself and I'm going to fire you guys, right? Like, I need my team, and I want to have this sense of trust, right? That I'm going to do everything I possibly can, so that way you're going to have a great job, and you're going to be fairly compensated for the work that you do here, right? So that's oxytocin. I thought it was really fascinating how Sinek breaks that all down. Dopamine. Sinek talks about dopamine. That is your instant gratification. That is when you finish your marathon, right? It's when you finish that essay. You stayed up all night, and then boom, you hit print, right, on your printer, and then you finish your essay, and you're super proud of it. That's your hit of dopamine, right? It's really primal, in the sense that it's a survival instinct. Me hunting down that antelope, right, means that I get this surge of dopamine. It's a high, right? But also it means that I'm going to survive. I'm going to be able to eat, right? So we get dopamine when we accomplish a task. when you're running a marathon, sometimes there's markers along the way. Where I live in Vancouver, there's the Grouse Grind. Basically, it's a mountain that you just climb. It's basically this seemingly never-ending staircase. But as you climb the staircase up the side of this mountain, there's little markers that says that you're a quarter of the way done. You're half of the way done, right? The halfway mark is a big yellow sign. And as you hit these markers, you get this surge of dopamine, right? So you get a surge of dopamine also when you get a sale, right? When you get a bonus, right? And like that's how I incentivize my sales team, my instructors. When they make a sale, right? I give people bonuses, right? So so a little bit of instant gratification is how I kind of run my company. Instant gratification can also mean like the belt promotion, right? It's very carrot and stick oriented, so it's very carrot oriented. Last thing that last drug that Sinek talks about is endorphins. So endorphins is basically it's a natural painkiller. Sinek describes it as a natural painkiller for the body, right? So you get endorphins when you're working out, right? When you're having this great workout, during your workout and after it, you just get this surge of endorphins, right? Have you ever been injured? Have you ever been playing rugby or playing basketball and you sprain your ankle and then you're just like, oh, whatever, let's just keep on going. And you just keep on going. Well, even though you sprained your ankle, right, you hurt your knee or whatever, you're able to play through the pain. And it's because you have endorphins surging through your body, right? It allows you to keep working. If I sprain my ankle and I'm trying to go and get that antelope, I have this painkiller, I'm running after that antelope, I just keep on going, right? And so that way I can eventually hunt down that antelope, right? And then feed my tribe, right, of cavemen, right? And so it's a survival instinct. Sinek does talk a bit about how endorphins, people can get addicted to it, like endorphin junkies, right? People who are addicted to dopamine, like they're very goal oriented, right? And these are workaholics, right? People who work all the time because they want that dopamine, they want the endorphin. Gym rats, people who are always working out, right? People who can't stop working out. You just want to balance this, right? The old saying is lonely at the top. So lonely at the top, and certainly this is something that I'm going through, is that like I've spent so much time, I'm always teaching, I'm always training, I'm always working on the business. And sometimes like I'll talk to a friend and I realize that the last time I've talked to them was a year ago, right? And it seems like that's happening more and more right now that the business is just bigger, right? So like a main thing for me is to try to find balance in my life, right? It's very difficult. And it can be for a lot of people, right? So it's funny how Sinek says that. It's something that I'm just kind of going through, right? Sinek does, at the very end of the book, he kind of talks about having a circle of safety, and he does a case study about how Costco, which is the second largest retailer, I think he says in the book, he's the second largest retailer in the United States, Costco, how Costco really does garner a circle of safety amongst all of their employees. They have great benefits. They're paid well, and he basically talks about Costco, and then he talks about General Electric, GE, and Jack Welch running GE. And General Electric's a giant company. They make appliances. They do lighting. They own NBC. So if you're a big Saturday Night Live fan, they own NBC. And Jack Welch, he fired every single year. He fired the lowest 10%. So if you in the performance metrics that they used in General Electric, if you were the bottom 10%, he would fire you. But what does that create? It creates fear. It creates like rabid competition. And Sinek displays their revenues. He displays their revenues. And for Costco, it's just a slow, steady climb, right? It's climbing, but it's very slow. It's very gradual. It's very predictable. With General Electric, it's up and down. It's up and, they have great years, they have bad years. They have a good year, they have a great year, they have a bad year, and it goes up and down. Sinek talks about how, what do you want? What do you want? If you're an investor, right? Let's just say that you got like, 100K just sitting around your living room, $100,000 just sitting around your living room. You want to invest it in either Costco or in General Electric. Do you want something that's gradual and predictable? Or do you want something that's just unpredictable, right? And fluctuates a lot, right? It was like, well, you probably want something that is just a little bit more constant, right? So he offers this case study to showcase that having a circle of safety is a really strong, profitable way to run your business, and it's ultimately it's how I run my company. It's how I run my business. So far, so good, right? So this book just kind of reinforced how it works for me and how it works for my company. So Simon Sinek, Sinek. I've been pronouncing it in two different ways during this video, but regardless, great book. Be sure to check it out.